shadow threatening the safety of peaceful worlds. An evil scientist who frightens children and is bent on slavery. A giant robot has seized a peaceful world and carried it off. Aloha's evil plan is to turn it into a huge private retreat for himself. Universal City Hall, here to help the people. Robert can do the job. Let's go, Robert! Jump and go!
Yes, jump and go, go, go.
Jumping Flash!
Guess who is back? It is this channel. I have neglected this channel for far too long. If you just remembered that you're subscribed to it, I apologize. You might notice that I have rebranded it from Challenge Accepted to Enters Arcade. I'm playing Jumping Flash here. I've played this on the channel before, for a couple of reasons. It's a very simple, easy game that I could talk through, that doesn't have any cutscenes that I'd like to stop talking during. Let's just get going so you don't have to stare about this screen forever. Jumping Flash was, I don't think it was a launch title for the PlayStation, but it was released damn near close to the PlayStation's launch. Originally as a tech demo, it is known as one of the first 3D platformers ever made. I don't know if it is the 3D platformer ever made, but it's been common knowledge that it is. The goal in each level is to look for 4 carrots. It's a collectathon, basically. People used to call it a Doom clone. And that's really all there is to say about it. It's very cute, it's got an amazing soundtrack, and some very nice retro graphics. I just love this aesthetic. So, I rebranded this channel. That's obvious. The point is, I guess I found challenges to not be so fun. This channel was always like the lowest priority of everything I was doing, and that's why it went neglected for several years, as I found myself having less time to spare, less free time in general. So I decided to maybe give this channel another shot in the arm.
Ready to go?
And try to fix it and actually use it for something that I find fun. So here's the deal. I want to turn this channel into just a basic Let's Play gaming channel. You know, like they did in the old days. It's going to be simple stuff, like I'm not going to do anything like Chugga Conroy level, it's just going to be me playing through games. And there's 2 categories that I really want to go through. Number 1 is the games that I've come to love as a kid and haven't played in a while. Those old nostalgic trips. And the other ones are games that are on my gaming bucket list, more or less. Like, I've had a Steam account for 10 years now, and Steam sales used to be a major addiction for me. I used to be one of those guys who would just, like, buy up a bunch of games during the sale, whether I would play them or not. If they looked vaguely interesting, I would just buy them up for the off chance that maybe someday I would play them. And with this channel, what I do want to do now is finally get to a lot of them. But right now, I'm just playing a game for a utility purpose. This game is really simple, and it's something to watch while I basically just talk about this channel and its status. As for the crazy video game challenges that I used to do, or said I wanted to do, it turned out to not be very interesting. Actually, it turned out to not be very fun. Like, I tried a bunch of things off-screen to maybe get back into this a whole bunch of times. Like, one time I did a monotype Pokemon playthrough. And I gotta tell you, it is the most boring Pokemon playthrough that I have ever had in my life. I do not recommend doing that. It's funny, because after I gave up on this whole crazy challenge thing, they became super popular all over YouTube. Like, nowadays, you'll find plenty of videos of people beating Pokemon in all kinds of different crazy ways. People trying to beat Spyro the Dragon without even jumping. But what I want to do with this channel is just have fun. And maybe you guys will be along for the ride. If there is a goal, it would be to get monetization back on this channel. That would be very, very nice. But mostly, I want to reconnect with a lot of the games that I've fallen out with, and connect with a lot more. However, I'm not too confident in playing video games blind. I don't think I ever was. I like knowing all of the ins and outs of every single video game that I play on footage, and I think that's something that's always been true with me. If nothing else, then to know how long the game will actually take. Like, I want to know how long I'm going to be sitting with the controller, in case I got something else to do that day. Like, Jumping Flash here. I know for a fact that I can beat this game in under 2 hours.
Ready to go?
I said this game had a great soundtrack. The desert levels do not. That the bombast you hear every once in a while is not. But yeah, this game is very, very cute, and it's strange because that isn't what the PlayStation's identity eventually became. So, Jumping Flash, I guess I should explain. I played this on the channel before during PSX Quest. That's another thing that I should go into when talking about why I decided to stop doing all these crazy challenges. And that is because it was getting to be tedious bullshit. And PSX Quest is probably the biggest example of that. Like, a lot of the games on the PlayStation 1, there's, like, no point to even play. I mean, like, some of the games are bad. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, you can have fun with a bad game. You can have fun making fun of Bubsy 3D or Rascal or whatever. What I'm talking about is, like, all of the different versions of Madden. Like, there is no reason for anyone to play one of those churned out year after year PlayStation sports games. Completion in terms of a console is... I don't want to call it stupid, because people have done it before. Not with the PlayStation, I think, but other consoles. It's definitely not my thing, and it's more tedious than I would like. One thing is for sure, I want to play the games that I enjoy, because life is short, and it's too short to do stuff you don't want to do for no reason. And right now, I want to play Jumping Flash. And maybe tomorrow I'll play Spyro. And maybe the day after that I'll play Crash Bandicoot, and the day after that I'll play Morrowind, I don't know. What I gotta do right now is focus on right now. Yes, I have played Jumping Flash on this channel before. One thing that I'm also doing right now is getting used to live commentating again. All of my review stuff is scripted, so I'm able to actually cut out all of this stammering and stuttering.
All right.
Yay. And I'm sure as I get into more interesting games, I will have more interesting things to say. Not that this game isn't interesting. It's just very, very simple, so I can talk about what I gotta talk about.
Ready to go?
If you're wondering the kind of games that I do play, I generally play all genres. Like, there are very few genres of video games that I don't like and go out of my way to completely avoid. Stealth video games is probably the biggest genre that I don't like on principle, and text adventures for what it's worth. Not that you get many of those these days anyway. My favorite genre is 3D platformers. We'll probably be doing a lot of that. A lot of simulation type games too. I grew up with the PlayStation 1, the Super Nintendo, a lot of old school computer games, and the GameCube. So those are the kind of areas we'll be tackling. I am getting... God, I am dying. So yeah, this video game has 2 hallway level games, and this is where the controls really can bite me. Normally this game is fine and fun to control. The problem, of course, is when you're in these tight, narrow hallways. And I apologize for the beeping. What I want most for this channel, I guess what I most want this channel to not be, is tedious. And a lot of the challenges that I was doing were getting very, very tedious. Like, I tried to play through Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories twice. And each time was probably less fun than the last. It is not a game I probably should Let's Play ever. Unless you get superbly lucky. Like, it's kind of fun to play, I guess, if you're in the mood for it. It's never fun to watch. At least, unless you're a speedrunner. There were a lot of games like that. Like, for instance, Zuma. I wouldn't exactly go out of my way to watch a playthrough of Zuma. At the very least, Jumping Flash has different unique environments.
Ready to go?
And it's also very, very easy. Like, if you want to get into retro PlayStation games, this is a good one to start with. I didn't grow up with this one. I discovered this later as an adult. So I can say that it's probably aged fairly well. The graphics are, like, delightfully retro. Like, it comes across as a good style that I would probably like to see video games made today. You know, like in the same vein that some people make retro pixel games. Yeah, all the bosses go down by just jumping on their heads repeatedly. I remember there being 6 worlds, and none of them are very much longer than the rest of them. Ooh, the amusement park world, okay, yeah.
Ready to go?
So yeah, I expect to be playing a good variety of games. And this game has a time limit that's never been a problem, ever. Maybe in the hallway levels?
Yeah.
Oh god, the soundtrack in this level is awesome. More games need amusement park levels. It's an aesthetic that I just really like. It's fun, you know? Having a good time. Hopping on these hot air balloons. It's a nice, cartoony, bright, fun, vibrant world. So how have you guys been lately? I've been all over the place since the last time I posted on this channel. But I think at this point, you guys all know that. As far as the month of February, when this was filmed, has been going, it's definitely been an upward lift. I feel a lot better now than I did when I started the year. There's still pangs of anxiety, a lot of times where my nerves just get the better of me. But in general, I've been happy and I've been liking what I've been doing. People seem to be very receptive to the more positive content that I've been putting on the main channel. It seems to be we seem to be entering a time where, like, admirable animations seem to be, like, what's actually getting people to... They're getting more views, sort of. They have better subscriber ratios at this point. Unfortunately, and this is... I can't say this without sounding bitter, but not much of anything gets many views these days. So there's no reason to not pump out admirable animations like no one's business. And who knows? That seems to be my route to getting back on track. It's definitely a lot better for my mental health. Just going over a lot of the cartoons that I used to enjoy and love, and remembering just why I did this. One thing that's been important for the past couple of months is just finally getting out of the bitterness that I've held for far too long now. How have you guys been? I understand that the past 2-3 years weren't hard on just me. They've been hard on so many different people. And I do want to apologize if I made that harder on anyone. I mean, not that I, like, went out of my way to go and hurt people, but, like, me shouting on the internet probably didn't help anyone. A lot of other content creators and such didn't help me much either. Everyone was too busy talking about all of the chaos that was going on. And a lot of people had good intentions, and a lot of people did give good advice. But it was still hard to hear about day in and day out when I wanted to hear about anything else.
Ready to go?
I really do hope that I never get, like, that angry or cynical or bitter again. I don't like being that angry, bitter person. I mean, as much as my reputation might precede me, like, I do like being happy. I like enjoying things. I really do like enjoying my life and enjoying media and stuff. I mean, like, even with the animated atrocities these days, like, when I'm shouting and yelling, it's all in fun, you know? Return to Zombie Island. It's a boring, tedious movie, but I had fun making jokes at its expense. And I hope that helped brighten up some people's days. And other times, we get things like Wonder Park, where I can see potential in what the creatives try to do with it, and hope to tap into that. That's kind of the stuff that I want animated atrocities to be from here on in, at least for a little while. Where I really try to figure out the value in a lot of the things that I complain about. I need to figure out how to get up there. I played this game earlier this year. The controls in this game are a little bit confusing, especially if you play, like, later released PlayStation games. The look around button is the R1 button. Which is weird even before analog sticks. Most PlayStation games use the triangle button. It's how you know that this game was made very early in the PlayStation's lifespan. 1995. It actually had one of those big box PlayStation games. And I will admit, I am playing on an emulator. I didn't get the actual game. Retro games right now are very expensive for reasons that I only kind of understand. But here's my logic on it. You can't really buy this game this day and age. Like, if I went onto the internet and went to eBay and bought a copy of Jumping Flash, Sony wouldn't make any money from it. The only person who would make money is the random guy who happened to have a copy of Jumping Flash. So I don't exactly see emulation in general as piracy. I mean, if you're emulating, like, Switch games, then, yeah, there's a discussion to be had.
Ready to go?
But, this old game, I don't even know if it's on, like, PSN. Actually, I don't even know if PSN exists anymore. I know that it hasn't been re-released physically since ever. Despite being easy as hell to kill, this is a very cool idea for a boss. Just a genie that comes out of the teacups ride. This is definitely a game that I'd like, I don't know, a remaster of. Somebody taking these ideas, these assets, and expanding on it so much. Jumping Flash just has such a cool aesthetic and a cool tone that you don't see very often. Like, especially back in these retro games. Like, back in the day, like, mid-90s. Mid-90s to mid-2000s, everyone was complaining when a game was all cutesy. They rarely ever got good ratings. I think that Animal Crossing might have been the first one to break that mold. But if a game was cute like this, or Tail Concerto, people used to hold it as a mark against the game. But honestly, in hindsight, I think that's a positive. A lot of these cutesy games hold up a lot better than a bunch of the edgelord crap that was released at the time. Kill the last teacup guy. Okay. That's a good stopping point. I'll take a break, and then I'll record the rest of the game.